Hello everyone and welcome to another one of our weekly live A&R sessions here on the Toolroom Academy YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. We've got a great little community building here as well, and this week got a very, very special guest joining me, sat right here, Mr. Deeper Purpose.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Mate, thanks for coming.
Excited to hear some of the tunes we've got today.
Yeah, mate, definitely. We feel very honoured to have you here giving your thoughts and feedback on the tunes.
Oh, I'm not that special. I wouldn't give you all of that.
Very humble, very humble. He's smashing it right now. You guys know that. You don't need me to tell you that, right? You got a big release coming out on Toolroom as well.
I have. Finally, we got one across the line. Been sending you guys some demos for a while, and yeah, we got the starter coming this Friday.
It is this week, isn't it?
Yeah, it's this Friday. It's come around really quickly, to be honest. And yeah, so I'm excited to be on the label. So I've been sending anything for quite a while. Back in the day, I was sending stuff when I was starting out. I was sending a lot of stuff through to you guys, and then sort of took a break away. Obviously, honed my sound in a little bit, and then reconnected with you guys and sent something across. And
amazing.
We got it there.
Amazing. So that just goes to show, right? Keep going.
Yeah.
Never give up and keep going. You're sending stuff. If it wasn't quite working right sound-wise, wasn't quite fitting the label, but
yeah, always
it all comes good.
I mean, it sort of becomes like progression as an artist. I mean, you have a moment where you can realise that, okay, maybe the sound that I'm sending is not actually the right sound for this label, and there's nothing wrong with that. So obviously, I mean, labels are always keen to hear music, but obviously as you grow as an artist and obviously become more accustomed to the sort of sounds which they may be looking for, or stuff which may tickle their fancy, you know what you should be sending to certain labels, really.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's sort of when the time was right. I was like, actually, this could work for Toolroom. Reconnected. And
it's sort of a balance, isn't it? Because it's like your sound as well, which might not work for labels, but then you can almost adapt it a little bit. Like, I feel that with Stutter, that it's you, but it fits Toolroom at the same time.
But I mean, that's not to discourage people from saying like that. Okay, maybe this sound isn't right for that label, but if it's a good track, a label would 9 times out of 10, if it's a great track, they'll sign it regardless of the sound. If it sort of falls in with like tech house, something like that, a great song is always gonna be a great song. I mean, like with the majority of stuff that you sort of have to have like a conscious sort of mind of where you're sending your music to.
Amazing, mate. Well, smashed it. It's a wicked record. We'll talk more on that. I've got some questions on that later, actually. And we'll be having a bit of a chat as well later as well, won't we?
Yeah, we will.
There'll be an interview up on the YouTube, the Toolroom Academy YouTube channel as well. So make sure you come back for that as well. So we've got loads of demos, guys, that have been sent in. Thanks for sending us your music. We're always really, really appreciative of that. You know, it takes a lot. I know sometimes it's quite a nervy thing, but you know what I'm saying? Every single week, you've got to go for it. You've got to seek opportunities. You've got to step outside your comfort zone. We were actually only joking about it earlier. You know, your close mates, everyone will tell you that your music's perfect. It's good to actually get some constructive feedback from people that may have some experience.
Nothing to lose by sending it across to get a bit of feedback on. Just take that first jump and then get some constructive feedback, and honestly, it goes a long way.
You know it. You know it. Right, let's have a quick look and see who's with us. Who is on? What's going on in chat? Give us a wave, people. Let us know where you're watching, where you are in the world. Where's our crew? Oh, I'll come back to it. I don't think my phone's not quite caught up yet with where we're at. Right, let's dive in. Let's dive in and get stuck in these tunes. We've only got so long. I may try and skip through them a little bit more as well. The last couple of weeks I've been pretty much playing the whole record. I don't mean to be rude with it, but it means we'll get through a few more tracks if we just skip 8 bars here and there. Do you know what we're saying? Right, so the first one I have here is by an artist called Bank. I think this is Khan, a former Toolroom Academy student. So if you're watching, Khan, big ups. Really excited to hear this. This one is called Feel the Rush. And I'm going to have to do my little wedding DJ fade in as well, because I think it's a bit abrupt if you just slam it in. Do you know what I'm saying?
You got to ease him in. It's like give him a jump.
Right, let's do this. Let's roll. Wow, that was wicked, Khan. Smash that.
Very good track.
Really, what a start.
I'm struggling to critique it. Honestly, I was trying to pick some holes in it, and I can't find any currently.
That is really strong. What a wicked start. That mega strong
your
start.
arrangement on that's great. You don't give away too much early. You've got your elements, which obviously appear in your breaks. You've got your acid line that come in your breaks, and then you take it out. You have the new vocal that comes in. Yeah. It's great. It keeps it very interesting. Very interesting. That's a very good
really good. Really good. Between the stab, the groove, the acid, the vocal. And it totally took us on a bit of a twist when it dropped. Bit of a sort of fake drop, just to that kick, but then the new vocal, the new verse line coming in.
Yeah, it was great. And obviously when you reintroduce your drums, you bring the acid line in back over the drums as well. Yeah. But that was the only time that really happens in the track. So that's I mean, as far as arrangement goes and keeping the listener entertained and interested for the track duration. Great job, and even the sound selection is very good in that as well.
It's really good.
Very good, yeah.
Honestly, we were saying in this, we were like, yeah, this is really good, really good. Sometimes, like when you're asked for feedback or critique, you end up trying to pick a hole. Yeah, it's like
I'm trying to forcefully find something here, and there was nothing to find. So yeah, that's great track.
Really, really good track, Carl. Really well done, man. Like we was going, oh, maybe this mix thing on the riser or the vocal, but to be honest. We're not in probably the best room to critique a mix down anyway. So amazing.
Yeah, very good track.
Really good stuff. Right, let's see what we've got for a second track, shall we? Let's dive into the pot and see what we have got. Right, I'm randomly picking here of demos that have come in. So we don't know where we're going to go. If we're going to switch vibes, I don't know. Oh, there you go. Like I said the word vibes, and I've just seen something called vibes, so I'm putting that in. He says, come on, Mac, let's not be that slow. What is with the Ableton update? Come on.
Quite a few people are complaining about the update. I mean, I haven't really noticed any issues with it yet, but...
The only thing with me, it takes a bit longer. I mean, it's just mega impatience to read the track, and then it adds 5 million squillion warp markers, but to be honest, it's not too bad. Right, so the next one we've got is by Nat, and it's called Fun Vibes. I said the word vibes, I saw the word vibes, so I dug it out. So we'll be kicking this one in. Actually, just really quickly, before we get started this one, Nat, let's just give some shouts, see who's in. How we doing? Bessie, Nino, Richard, Ilya. Oh, it's loads. D-Tone. Oh, it's the usual crew. Grens, Grit, how are you? Seb Loco's back. Jimmy J's back. Foley, how are you? Nate no fun. Nate, is this you that I'm about to play? Are you Nate? Fun Vibes. Have you dropped the no fun? Loz, how are you? Everyone's in. Martina, Emma, Dean. God, I could be here all day calling these names out. Trish, how are you? Nick. Great to see, guys. Great to see. And everyone was loving that. Everyone was loving the acid on that one. Saying Grit was saying really nice drive, like the off snares. Wicked. Everyone's saying they would have played that all day long.
Yeah, I can definitely see that being played.
Dope track. Smashed it. Absolutely smashed it. Very well, thank you, Loz. He's asking how we are.
Oh, great, thanks.
We're great. Thanks for asking, mate. Ah, yes. I thought so, Nate. I was like, has he dropped the no fun? It's all good. It's all good. Right. So this one is Nat Fun Vibes. Let's do it. Let's get it on. One, Nat. Thank you so much for sending that in. Lovely bit of disco vibes. We were joking about it, saying, I wonder if it's going to switch the vibe up, and we did. We did. You had us all rocking. All our heads were nodding straight away. Everyone loves a bit of disco. I mean, that's a really nice idea, isn't it? I think the sample, the actual track you sampled from, I like it. I like her vocal, and I like the sort of the strings and the instruments in there. Although the quality of that sample sounded a bit.
Yeah, it's like crushed. I don't know where that sample, where you've actually managed to get that sample from, but I'd definitely go back in and see if you can find the original sample or even layer from the original song and just try and EQ out some elements and like maybe just get a clearer sounding vocal, because it does sound in some parts very distorted and not very clear. So if you try to clean that up a little bit, it'd be great.
It'll really help. And then just bit more of a, I think the bass line could be a little bit more exciting, maybe a bit more funky.
Yeah, I mean, like it's such a, like a vocal's so cool. If you had like a really grooving bass underneath that, there's something not too complex, but there's something a bit more rhythmic just to help carry it and a bit bouncy. It could be amazing. And then just moving on to something else, like I feel like once we've got the elements in from like the start, from the first like break and the first drop, there's nothing really new that comes in and changes up. So I mean, I feel like you could layer some other instruments in there, and even like we were saying, some of the instruments, some of the strings in there, you can actually go in and recreate, and then add maybe add notes in and create some more interesting patterns just have something fresh coming in the second half of the track.
It would really help excite the arrangement, wouldn't it, as well? And I think, like, arrangement-wise, you've gone for quite a, look, honestly, standard sort of arrangement, 1 minute, let's do a break, and so on. You could, as well, look and try and find, like, a real successful sort of funkiest disco record and just look at their arrangement. Totally copy it. You can learn from that. Trust me, all artists do it.
That's literally what I still to this day do it. I was like, okay, I have arrangements that I use for certain songs, but like, I need a fresh arrangement. Let me just drag a song that I like at the minute. Just have a look at the arrangement, put some cue markers in the top of my project. All right, that's my arrangement.
Honestly, like, you're not ripping anyone off with it. Everyone does it, and it's. I think you get to a point with music as well when you're writing records. You're so sort of creatively like. You've just been putting out and putting out and putting out. When you get to that point of arrangement, it can be a point where you're a bit like almost creatively exhausted.
Yeah,
there's no harm in looking at that.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, sometimes it's easy to get caught in a loop of using the same arrangements over and over again. I mean, I've done it. I mean, I've probably released. I went for a spell where I released like 3 tracks on the run, which had the same arrangement. I was like, damn, I didn't even realize I'd done it.
But I bet you no one else noticed it though.
Only one person pointed it out. It was my manager on the third run. He was like, "That's the same. Is that the same layout as like these 2 tracks?" And I was like, "You know what? It actually is." And I was like, "Damn it!" And it's
sometimes some artists do that a bit, and I think if it sometimes if it works. But then certain different records, it's good to just break the mold a bit.
I mean, to be fair, like with me, the only time that's ever happened is like because I'll reuse like certain sounds. Or say I've got a certain kick which I process a certain way. I'm like, oh, this kick could be perfect for this idea I've got. I just drag it in, and obviously then I've got my arrangement there already. Then I was like, without thinking about it, just run through, make a track, and then before I know it, it's getting released, and I haven't remembered to go back in and tweak the arrangement. Yeah, but it's easily done. But dragging another track in just to get an idea for some of the feels some of these tracks working is a great idea.
I think it can help you get creative with this one because it's a really cool idea, and I think you're getting there. I totally agree with you. I think a bit more of a fun bass line could make that really interesting. A couple of extra disco parts that you play in. Yeah, and then have fun with the arrangement.
Because when you drag in this, find the disc track you really like, and when you're doing the arrangement as well, you can also add in extra cue markers at the top where you say, okay, a new element gets introduced here, and then I say this is not copying. It just shows you when like new elements are getting introduced into these other people's songs that you can then think, okay, I can introduce my own element in my own song there, and it just gives you like a breakdown of okay, so this is happening here, this happens here, and just it just gives you more of an idea of what you need going on in your tracks to keep them interesting for that length of time.
Totally. Good stuff though, man. Really nice vibes. Yeah, Thank you very much. Fun vibes, as it says in the track title.
Yeah, you got a good starting point there. Yeah, very good starting point.
Wicked stuff. Right, let's keep it moving. What have we got next? I am going to go to... Right, let's see what we got here. Another track title's caught my eye. Ibiza. Depending where you're from. Ibiza. Very Kent, that is. Ibiza.
Got an Ibiza with lads.
Such a Kent pronunciation, isn't it? Ibiza.
And it speaks around in Spanish. It's Ibiza.
Yeah.
So Ibiza, like what?
What are you saying? Oh, Ibiza. Right. Okay, so the artist is CH&R, or should I be saying that out differently?
Shah.
Maybe.
Shah. Yeah,
maybe it's Shah. Maybe the and stands for something. I don't know. CH&R.
Oh, is there an and in there?
Yeah, there's a little and symbol. CH&R. Could be. Could be Shah. Could just be CH&R.
Might just be abbreviated.
Might just be abbreviated the initials.
Yeah.
Could be like Chris and Richard. You never know. Let us know if you're watching who you are. All right.
Charlie and Rupert.
There's endless results we could go for here. We could keep going. I love it. Right, let's do it. This one is called Ibiza. Yes, CH and R, whoever you are, Ibiza. Really interesting track. Love that acid line. I mean, when you bring an acid line into a record, everyone's a bit like, okay, means business.
Party time.
Yeah. But do you know what was interesting? We weren't expecting it.
No.
We wasn't expecting that to come. When we were listening to the drums, first for you was like, nice kick.
Yeah, it was a great kick, and the percussion came in, and the sort of delayed vocals were sounding really cool, and I was expecting something like a groovy rolling bass line to come in. Yeah,
that's what I was expecting, a real groovy rolling sub.
I mean, not saying the acid is good, but I feel like you can maybe split this into two tracks. You got the start of an acid track there, and then just throw a new bass line on this, and I feel like you could have two tracks there. Yeah, but I feel like you've got such a nice kick, and the drums are really nice, and the vocal was quite cool, that you've got like 90% or 70%, 80% of the puzzle there. I just feel like you're missing that groovy rolling bass line, because it feels initially like it's gonna be one of them tracks.
Definitely, the drums, the percussion, it just suddenly felt like we were gonna go terrace vibes, like old school classic Ibiza terrace
like
vibes.
Corolla vibes. Yeah, that's where I thought we were heading.
Rolling bass line, and then the acid, which is very driving and aggressive, but then we've got this groovy sort of drum groove and percussion.
Yeah,
it's interesting to try and take something in a different way, but generally when you get the acid line, you expect the acid to go quite trippy and gnarly, and like,
even different drums as well to go with the acid, like classic, like old drum machines and stuff like that, like
cleaner
stuff. I mean, whereas and normally the acid songs are less percussive. You don't really have them bongos like rolling in the background and stuff like that. That's what in my acid tracks anyway. I don't really tend to have like so many percussive elements.
Generally, that is probably the most classic way, isn't it? With a decent acid line. Bit of 303, it's generally a little bit more cleaner. So really interesting on this one. I quite like the sort of vocal, the Spanish spoken word. It's a bit trippy with the delays. To be honest, that could probably work on either idea. But we both think you could split this, take that acid and take that to a more slightly cleaner, aggressive, classic sort of acid style track.
For sure.
And then with the groovy drums, percussion, let's get a groovy rolling bass line in if that's where if you like that vibe.
Yeah,
I think I
feel like you'll be quite surprised if you used to change that bass line, how instantly it just transforms that whole track, and everything will then gel together quite nicely. I think take the acid line out and then just throw a groovy bass line in there, and I feel like that track will then start to come together. So I think definitely give that a go. And
definitely.
Last thing I'd say is maybe play with the arrangement slightly as well. What time? I don't know the timing of when the breakdown first comes in.
So it was about. Let me set my BPM just to get it bang on where we were. Oh no, not 1,000 BPM. Definitely got that wrong. 126. So we were 2.5 minutes, and it was only really that one break, and then the rest was just transitions.
Yeah, I mean you did have like a mini transitional break in there, but around
1 minute, I think it was.
Yeah, you definitely need to have like a 30-second breakdown around 1 minute, just to follow sort of, especially once you put that new bass line in, to sort of stick with like the unwritten rules of like that sort of rolling tech house. Yeah, you want to add a break sooner on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, man. Okay, really interesting stuff here. So, guys, love the fact that everyone's getting stuck in on chat as well. You know, make sure you keep it positive, supportive of everyone's tunes that are playing. But I love to see other people giving their some feedback and some opinions in there as well. A few of you guys are asking about the demos. So, yes, Toolroom Academy. So it comes through Toolroom Records label Radar. That's correct, isn't it, Bailey? That is correct. So Toolroom Records label Radar. Okay, on there we select demos at random each week. Okay, we receive a lot of demos to the label, but each week we're diving in, taking a selection at random, pulled into a pot, and I don't know, I don't see any of these. We keep it totally fair. I'm then picking them from random. Okay, it might seem, as someone said here, that there's no structure to it, but that is the structure. That's the way we find we keep it fair, rather than, you know, I've worked with a lot of Toolroom Academy students, I've had a lot of demos in the past. That way I don't know what I'm delving into. Keeps it totally unknown. And it keeps us on our toes as well from an A&R point of view, rather than sort of pre-listening and knowing. I think the best way to hear stuff, actually.
It is. Like, it's unexpected, just going into it unexpectedly. And then your mind's not closed off to certain things. Like you got a broad just thrown in the dark, and then whatever comes.
You get our raw feelings and thoughts then straight away. Okay, so make sure follow Toolroom Academy on Instagram. Okay, and you'll see when we mention about these. But just go on Label Radar, check out the Toolroom Records page. It's a really good site, Label Radar. There's loads of labels that use it, and you can go and submit demos to them. And then the A&Rs from the demos actually go in there, check them out, have a listen, sometimes give you feedback, all right? But we're on there as Toolroom, okay? And if you haven't as well, I love saying this, make sure you click like and subscribe on this channel as well, all right? We're trying to build this up. It's always good to have a community. Everyone's good though, it's just nice. I love everyone giving a little bit of feedback as well. Brilliant stuff, guys. Is Nat tuned in? Oh, nice one, Nat. Wicked. No worries at all. Honestly, we really enjoyed that. I hope the feedback helps as well. Wicked stuff, man. So what's going on with you at the moment before we do the next one?
I'm actually,
where in the world are you about to travel off to?
So I've actually got the next month at home here in London. Well, just up the road really in Bromley. We're moving to my new place. I've actually got some downtime, which was well needed. So I get some studio time and work on some of the ideas I've had. And then I fly off in the second week of August, going back to the US for a week or two, then go to Australia for 2 weeks, then back to America till the end of October. So yeah, it's pretty
nice and local.
yeah, you can pop down the road and have a say hello if you want. But yeah, so I'm about to head back halfway across the world again, or I'm going all the way to the opposite side of the world at one point. But it's part of it. And obviously, you work so long for it, and now I'm getting to reap the benefits of reap the benefits of all the hard work. So
enjoy it. I bet, is that some big festival stuff in the States? Is there coming up?
Yeah, we got. So there's always something big going on in America. It's like that's the thing about America. That's why I love it so much. That obviously they don't really have a festival season. That stuff just runs all year round. There's always something big going on. I mean, I'm playing a big one in New York, Electric Zoo Festival in September, which is like they've built a new stage that I'm playing on something. It's like its own little island, and it's like it's meant to be the world's largest LED screen ever.
Nice.
So we will see. That's the stage I'm playing on. So yeah, we'll see. And then I've got obviously my first Australia run, which I'm really super excited about. I'm not excited about the flight, I'll be honest, but
are you not too keen on?
I don't mind flying, but obviously I've got to fly to the other side of the world.
It's a long flight.
I mean, the longest flight I've been on was from London to LA, and I think that took me about 13 hours. So now I'm flying from LA, and it's like another 16 hours from LA. So I mean, it's a long trip. It's a long old way to go.
It's a long trip. I'm sure they're going to give you a warm welcome, mate. You'll have a good one.
Well, I'm finally going to find out why all the Australians are so excited. What's going on in Australia? Like everyone's always got so much energy, and everyone's so hyped up. Let's go see what it's all about.
Yeah, so many of the touring guys. Mark was there, wasn't he? Not that long ago as well. And he said it was brilliant. He absolutely loved it. He had a wicked time. So man, wicked. Definitely busy. Nice to have a little bit of time off, especially moving place. That's pretty hectic,
it's well just to get some studio time. I struggled making tunes on the road. Like I get ideas and stuff like that, but I like to sit in front of my own monitors that I know like the back of my hand, like inside out. I know everything's sound, and just I struggle to make music on headphones, and just it's just even getting focused and like sitting in like hotels and stuff like that. It's never, I don't know, I can make a few edits and stuff like that for my sets, but if I'm making a record that I want to put out, I really struggle when I'm on the road. So I mean, this last month, got into my new place, like see my family and friends. I've got in a really good headspace and routine. I've written some of the best music I've made in a long time.
Wicked.
So yeah, I'm excited to go back out. I've got a whole another month of making music now. And then so by the time I go back on tour, I'm gonna have a whole set full of brand new stuff.
That's wicked, man.
Yeah,
that's wicked. In that month, like, do you think are you quite quick at making tunes, or is it just when it comes, or
when I mean it comes, I struggle to sit there unless I have an idea for something. I used to try and force making music. I'd literally sit there and be like, no, I need to make music today. I need to make music, and I'd just like make nothing, get myself in a bad headspace. Like just things weren't flowing. But then obviously as I matured a bit, I realized that all right, if it's not happening today, don't force it. But now I really like have an idea before I get into the studio. So I mean, I probably at the moment I'm probably making about 1 or 2 tracks a week. I've done a few remixes, and I had a few like vocal top lines thrown my way, and I was like, oh, these are cool. So I'm obviously so I had some like concepts already there, and I do all my own vocals on my tracks as well, like all my own voice, and like the guy parts are me, and like girl parts I've got like female friends that like do them. So I mean, I've always, whenever I'm on the road, I'm listening to music, I'm always literally, my notes are jam packed with vocal ideas. And
that's
stuff
amazing.
Like
that is amazing to know.
Yeah, so
we're getting all the goss. That's
wicked.
Did you do the vocal on Party Deep though?
Yeah, so the voice is the guy vocals me.
No way. And on Stutter as well.
Yeah, Stutter the home. That's
way.
me. Literally
Amazing.
every single track that's an original is always my voice.
Wow.
Always.
Wow. There you go, guys. If you didn't know, you know now. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that. We're going to be diving way more into this in this interview later as well. I'm loving it. Right. Let's keep it rolling. What have we got next? Yeah.
To me, so I've got my promo email, which is promos@deeper-purpose.com.
There you go. Love that.
Yeah, promos@deeper-purpose.com. That's the one.
Amazing. Not many people, are happy just to give that out. I love it.
Go for it. I'm always happy to check people's music out.
Wicked. Amazing stuff. And if you don't ask, you don't get. So fair play whoever took that opportunity. Right, I've got another track here by Sal, I think that's Sal, if I'm pronouncing that right, called Victoria. And let's do it. Let's roll. Let's dive in. Let's keep it going. Wow.
Definitely something there. That's cool.
That was wicked.
Vibe.
Sal and Victoria, we love that. That is an absolute vibe. We were laughing. Bailey just told us that the chat, someone said, if I accidentally dipped into the already signed folder, I can assure you we haven't. These are unsigned demos.
I mean, if I got that sent through as a promo from you guys, I wouldn't blink twice. It's actually a very good track.
It's really good. Honestly, 100%. That is going to go straight onto the A&R team here. I'm passing that on 100%. I mean, they'll be listening to everything that's going on in this session anyway. But that is wicked. Really good. Like, when it started, as soon as we heard the bass line, we were like, that's the sort of bass line that would have worked on the
one with the acid line, yeah.
On the acid track earlier. And then the steel drums came in and we were all just like, suddenly we just started smiling. And we were all just bopping and bouncing.
Yeah.
Really summery.
I was getting ready to pull out a cocktail, the umbrella. Get me in the mood.
Definitely. Bailey, can that go on the list along with makeup artist, my sound effects button, and a cocktail bar as well for these sessions?
You just get one automatic that pops out of here or comes out the top of the tour.
Oh my god. Come on, can we get the budget? You just took it to another level. Imagine that electric just coming up. This one deserves a cocktail. Yeah. What would you have here on a little iPad? I'm getting carried away. I love the idea.
There you go.
That's those vibes though. That's where you've taken us. It sounds great. The production's really good.
It's very strong production.
Sounds amazing. Like you've properly maxed it. It sounds really good in this room. We've really, really enjoyed it. And I think we're both feeling the same thing. It was just to get a bit more creative with the vocal.
Yeah, I mean, you got the I'm a Man. It comes in very early, and I think you've got every 4, 8. I can't remember whatever it was every 4.
Literally every 4 bars,
and it just gets a bit like too much. So I would say maybe hold off on it from the start, and then introduce it a bit later, and then only have it for like 32. Like if you're gonna have it in for every 4, have it in for like 32 blocks, and then maybe like cut it up and have like a I'm a man or something like that, just to keep it fresh.
Little chopped up.
Yeah, and I mean, but then you even got a vocal that comes in towards the end.
Oh yes,
let me
go back
vocal,
to that.
Which
it was
really
like...
cool. But I feel like you could even tease that in that first section after the first drop, before the second breakdown. You can tease that in there. I mean, like sometimes that "Oh my man" gets very gets very repetitive, and it that's the only like the downside.
It literally never leaves.
Yeah,
and when we get in the second break, you suddenly open and it does more of the phrase. So we get what you're doing, but you could actually have respite of it before. But, I mean, I think you could, that first drop,
you can take it out.
I don't think you need it. I think you could drop just groove and steel drums when we've come out that first break.
Because the groove and the steel drums are so strong, you don't really need the armament over the top of that, and you can just introduce it as a little juicy extra every now and again. Like you don't. It's the beat is so strong with them steel drums, you don't need it over the top continuously.
It could come in like 8 or 16 bars later, then do the chop version, and then just drop it, because it was this little bit here. No, where was it? vocal that came in.
Yeah, there.
And just the groove and that vocal's lovely.
Yeah, it's great.
So you could even fit that in for like an 8-bar section between the two breaks.
I mean, I can imagine that woo coming in like, just after the first drop. To be honest, it's like a nice new like surprise element.
Oh yeah, nice little sound. Like once you drop like sort of after 4 bars or after 8. Yeah, nice, wicked,
great track.
Really, really great track. Just
need some polishing up around the edges. Yeah,
don't overuse that vocal. Just let it come in and out of different places. And I love your idea of a little chop version of it. Yeah, I think that'd be wicked.
Yeah, it'd be quite cool.
Love that.
Good stuff.
Definitely loving the vibes of that. It's definitely need a cocktail now. At 3:45 on a Wednesday afternoon.
It's 5 p.m. somewhere. It's always 5 p.m. somewhere. Always 5 p.m. somewhere.
I'm going into another live A&R session with our students at 6. We're like, so.
It could be fun.
Gone heavy on the cocktails and deep purpose in the afternoon. Love it.
I'll be past that in the back office.
Now that would make for good YouTube content, wouldn't it, Bailey? You'd love it. You'd love it.
I'm never coming back again.
Oh, brilliant. Who is the artist of this track? Seb, it was called Sal, like Val, but with an S. That was. Oh, Torm Academy just answered me. Beat me to it, Bailey. You absolutely beat me to it. Yeah, totally. And that's the thing, Dito, and you're right. You're totally right. As an artist, honestly, you've got the freedom to do whatever you want. And like we can come on and go, oh, we would do this, we would do that. I mean, look, that's based on our own taste, but experience as well. You know, we've got experience both from different sides. We've been through the mill from all sides of the industry to give you guys some feedback of what sometimes just helps your creativity, helps your records just fit a little bit, because as much as like being an artist, you should have freedom to sort of fit into like a scene and where things work. There are kind of, I don't want to use the word rules.
It's like unwritten rules, the brackets, so to speak.
There's brackets,
but obviously, within tech house, there's different styles of tech house, and obviously some brackets overlap. But I mean, you sort of you can exist in between certain brackets of like styles and stuff. But just the idea as a whole needs to work and have some form of like credibility to it, which is obviously like that other people can buy into, so to speak. And it's like it's like guidelines of how things should sort of work best. And obviously music's very subjective, like not everything is for everyone, but yeah, obviously we're just going to try and give you guidelines of what would maybe help in certain instances to do things a certain different way that you maybe have not already thought of.
That's it, exactly right. Bessie said, that's what my dad says, it's 5 p.m. somewhere.
Oh God, you're making me feel old.
That's the saying. Loz, him and G. Oh, Loz and Graham have done it before. What, you got heavy on the cocktails on an A&R session? I love that. I love that. Oh, that was wicked. Really good stuff, guys. Right, I've got another one here lined up. And this one is by Art Dogmatics. I need my glasses on. It's starting to look blurry. And I've not even had any cocktails. This one is called Dancing. Right, let's go. Art Dogmatics. Hope you're watching, mate. Let's go.
Got hooked on your sound, or love at first sight. The one from your crowd, I dance in the light. Was trying to hide, but every tune I burn deep inside. I'm dancing for you. Dancing for you. dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. In the light, dancing for you, 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 dancing for you. In the light, dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. In the light. I'm done steering clear and living in spite. The world disappears. I dance in the light. I give up the day and turn to the moon to take me away. I'm dancing for you. Dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. In the light, dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. In the light, dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. Dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. In the light, dancing for you, dancing for you, dancing for you. In the light.
Nice. Art Dogmatics, really classy. I think that's the word I'm going to use for that. That is really classy. What a nice record and a lovely
Yeah,
vocal.
it's got a great vocal on that. It's got very good potential, that vocal, to do very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really, really nice. Honestly, that was really, really classy. And I think for me, it's an arrangement thing. I think it feels like, and this isn't wrong, but for me, just hearing it first time, I think the bits where you're spending a long time really breaking us down and trying to get that energy to a point where it's like deep, emotive, thoughtful, emotion. I reckon that can all be condensed a bit shorter, and it's interesting because you said you've noted like some people, like sometimes Sonny Fodera's arrangements are a bit like longer break first, it gave, shorter break second. But
gives off very Sonny Fodera's.
You can sometimes lose the momentum though, can't you? If it's too long.
Yeah, and I mean,
break.
Yeah, if the break is too long, if you, I feel like a Sonny Fodera could be a very good reference point for you if that's not what you're referencing already, and just see how he captures the listener's attention, because he has very emotive breakdowns and moments, but you're always it's the hook, and you're always like caught, and you don't lose interest in it, and just builds and builds and builds like progressively, but it doesn't take too long to do so. I mean, yeah, I think if you're looking for, obviously for inspiration and a go and check out some of Sonny Fodera stuff, especially his early stuff, like Always Gonna Be, and I can't remember what else is in there, but if you go back and check out, like, I think it's his Frequently Flying album. That's a good starting point to go to and reference how the emotion builds without it being too drawn out.
Yeah, great suggestion. because it's a really nice record. Honestly, I think you could bring that. You know that ARP. You might have caught us talking about that when we first stopped there. There's an ARP that you've got on the outro that could come out in louder over the piano as a main part for that sort of last. It's a classic thing in like piano-based house in this more anthemic stuff. The final drop, everything's there. 16 bars later, you just go that one more where the ARP comes in, or a string layer of the piano or something. Anyway, but outside of that, this is really cool.
And I'm sorry, one other thing is that when it drops in, you've got the clicking, like what's the clave? Woodblock or clave. I'd say you don't need that in over the drop, because you have the piano and the bass and the kick. Everything comes back in so strong, and that's just over the top, and you can just hear it in the background. But it's not really doing anything for the track, other than maybe adding a little unnecessary like mud in there, and just like it doesn't really need. I feel like once you drop that piano out, then reintroduce that, because then it just creates more focal point around like the central part of your song, like the piano, and it's not necessary there really. It's just a bit of it just sounds like a bit of background noise going on there, which drawing.
And you're trying to focus on the piano.
Exactly.
Point, right?
It's drawing me away from what you want my attention to be on. That's what I would say.
Good shout. Because as soon as the piano went, you really noticed it, and it just pinged out.
Yeah.
So I think when you look at that first break, it's like, let me just make sure I'm matching your BPM just so I'm on the grid. You're going 8 bars, just chilling us down with those chords, and then we've got, I think, 16 bars of the verse of the vocal. Then it goes into the loopy part for 8 bars, then the piano. That's quite long. I feel like all of that, because then we drop with the loopy part on the piano. That's the hook. That's the amazing part. I just felt like we could have got to that a little bit quicker. That's just, I don't know if it's a personal thing, or perhaps the way we're sitting listening in a really analytical way. But I feel like if you tried to play it out, you'd find the crowd would just chill too much.
Just a little bit too much, yeah.
But what a great record! Honestly, it's fantastic. And honestly, if you're watching this and you're like, oh my god, I'm nowhere near like at that sort of level, please do not be put off. Every week's different. The demos we pick are different. There is no right or wrong at whatever part of the musical journey you are on as a producer. If you are just starting out, if you're getting ideas that are really finished and just need a little bit of polished feedback, please send stuff in, all right? We don't mind, honestly. There's no right or wrong. You've got to focus on your own journey. Don't compare yourself to other people. You've got to start somewhere.
Always got to start somewhere.
You've got to start somewhere. I mean, you was joking earlier when we were chatting about listening back to old projects and thinking, what was I doing? But
it's part of the process.
It's part of the process, definitely. So, honestly, if you're watching, you're like, oh my God, I like sending something in, but I don't think it's good enough. Just go for it. Absolutely go for it, okay? There's no right or wrong. Right. What else have we got here? Right, let's bring this in. Okay, next up, picked at random, I might add, is a track by someone called Tad. And the track is called Like That. Looks like we've got an edit here anyway, a bit of a shorter one, which is all good. Oh, 130 it's saying. Let's see where we're at. Right, Tad with Like That. Let's roll. Let's do it.
Do it like that, do it like that, 2-step, do it like, then I bring it right back, do it like that, do it like, 2-step, do it like that, then I bring it right back, do it like that, do it like that, 2-step, do it like that, then I bring it right back, do it like that, do it like that, 2-step, do it like that, then I bring it right back. They wonder how I do it like that. 2-step, then I bring it right back. No scarf, got ice on the neck. 7-fit flex on the checks on deck. They wonder how I do it like that. 2-step, then I bring it right back. No scarf, got ice on the neck. 7-fit flex on the checks on deck. Do it like that. Do it like that. Then I bring it right back. Do it like that. Do it like, then I bring it right back. Do it like that. Do it like that. Then I bring it right back. wonder how I do it like that. Two-step, then I bring it right back. No scarf, got ice on the neck. 7-fit flex on the checks on deck. They wonder how I do it like that. Two-step, then I bring it right back. No scarf, got ice on the neck. 7-fit flex on the checks on deck. Do it like that, that. Do it like, then I bring it right back. Do it like that, that. Do it like that, then I bring it right back. Then I bring it right back. Do it like that. Do it like that. Then I bring it right back.
Wow, that was really nice, really clean. Like in terms of parts and how much is being used, it's a great example of like not over cluttering a record.
Yeah.
With millions of sounds.
There's not. Yeah, they say there's not a million elements going on, but the elements you do have work very effectively to get across what you're trying to do. And those are some, in my opinion, some of the best records. Like you can keep things very simple, but every element you have in that has its own part, which doesn't clash with anything else, and it exists in its own space to create a vibe. And that's done really well there.
Totally. Because then you just send the right message across. Like everything you've got there is in the right vibe. It's in context with each other.
Yeah.
They're all sending the same sort of message in terms of attitude, in terms of flavour. I've said this a few times on these sessions. It's really good if you're writing a club track to get a better feel of it from critique with an actual club arrangement. To like really feel how that build up was doing. We drop in and then only sort of 15 seconds later where we finished because it's on an edit. So I think that's probably what my feedback would have been on this, would have been arrangement, because I like what was going on in here in this condensed version. Yeah. It was really, really cool. I like the little bit of creativity in that break with the vocal, and then suddenly just go into the stab. Yeah. But it all felt quite...
I wanted to hear more, really, yeah.
It felt quite short and condensed.
I feel like I didn't have a full story. It's just like, I just got a lot of information all at once rather than a full like picture of it, of how it like progressed and how it went on. So it's already good with a club record to send an extended mix.
Definitely. And the thing is, like, your edits should come from the extended version anyway. It works in a certain way, so the whole story works in an arrangement. It's club music, right? It's house music of how it's going to work in a club, and then make your edit you almost are just sort of chopping out chunks of slightly like less important space of a club version to just make an edit, and it feels like it's all a little bit top heavy for me. It's like all the big stuff's happening quite near the end of this. I've got no other feedback really.
No, other than that, it gets the message across exactly. It's a club record.
It's in that space,
and I can see it doing damage on the dance floor as well, and on the right dance floor.
Totally. Yeah. Interesting. What the vocal? We thought it might have been will.i.am, didn't we?
Yeah. At first, I thought it was will.i.am, but I'm not sure after listening to it for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No.
I like the stab sound. It's got a little bit of DJ Jean the Launch vibes for all you oldies out there who might remember that, an old track. But that's really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think outside of that, there's nothing that I'd say. I'm not sure on that part. I'm not sure if that part doesn't work.
No.
The parts that you've got are all in context. Wicked, man. Let's keep it moving. Right. What have I got here? So, next up, I've got DJ Huguito with a track called My Beat. It's definitely, like, it can't read the BPMs. It's saying it's 125.93. Come on. I think we all know that's going to be 126. Right, let's see what sort of vibes you've got for us. DJ Huguito.
This is my beat. This is my beat. This
Yes, I got my swagger back, 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 back. Yes, I got my swagger back, 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 back. This is my beat. This is my beat. This is my beat. This is my
Wow, DJ Huguito, that was, I don't even know how to describe it.
I went
That
on a
was-
journey.
we went on a real journey there, proper journey. That when the bass line came in,
Filth.
literally
Mate, that was
everyone.
great.
Yeah, Bailey did scrunch face over there. And
I
was
got
just
a scrunch face. I was like, there we go.
Yeah, we were like, you were
Yeah.
like, I want this beat.
The bass on that and the kick and like when it starts out, that's good. That's good stuff.
It's really good, but it really felt like it was in a real specific subgenre of tech house. Like we
Yeah.
all knew where it was going to go and what it was going to do, and then you totally just flipped
You
it.
threw me a
You
curveball.
threw us a curveball with the sax, and it was like, okay,
Yeah.
we're like grit, dirty. Everyone's totally mashed up on the terrace. It's 6 a.m.
Yeah,
and
then you
now
got
we're
that massive uplifting element. And you're like, wow, like you've gone from being really down here to like up here.
yeah,
But it's whether it works. I mean, like I could see that working in certain sets in certain environments.
yeah.
I could see it like going off like.
It's
But
different.
yeah.
It's very different. And sometimes you get these sorts of records, these after party records, and they're a bit like that. And some really mad,
yeah,
like, flute thing comes in, and everyone's like, "Well, I wasn't expecting it," but it was over the groove because
Yeah.
it felt like someone jamming. It felt like a saxophonist. I can't say that word. Like really jamming and just
Yeah.
closing their eyes and going for it.
I think.
But then a really dirty groove.
Yeah, I feel
I
like
was
it needs
50-50 on the
to
marriage of that.
tweak. I feel like the idea is there, but I feel like it needs finessing, like to figure out the best way to make that come
Yeah.
through, where it's not so much of a shock.
Maybe it's
And
in a break,
Yeah,
and then you drop back to the groove, and then introduce little
yeah.
chops.
Because I
of
could
it.
see that being a really cool moment in this,
Yeah.
because you have that high element and you just drop back into absolute filth.
Yeah.
Like that, I can see it working. It just needs to be played with.
So you
like,
shock them in the break.
yeah.
Go into the break, it's all sort of filtering down, and suddenly we get
Yeah.
this sax, and we're
Yeah.
like, whoa.
So like, I'm going to take
Back
you.
to
I'm
the
going to take you
filthy
high,
groove.
and I'm going to drop you back to something
Yeah.
really dirty and filthy. Like
Yeah.
that could be really cool. I think more like the trancey, but when we get to the second break,
And then that's where we were
Yeah.
like, wow, now we're going on another journey. The break, the second break, the middle of the track was like, yeah, it felt like you sort of had 4 different ideas for different
Yeah.
records that you've put into one break. We suddenly sort of went trancey.
I think you can take that
melodic
trance element
stuff.
out of this track and put that into a new track,
Yeah.
because that's I feel like you don't need that. You've got the if I feel like if you finesse that element of the sax, and then you don't really need that elements in the second break. You can then just play with what you already have there, the dirty bass line, the sax. Maybe obviously you got the vocal. I think was there a vocal that came in a little.
Yeah, there was another vocal that then started
Yeah.
saying about swagger, and then that pitched
Yeah,
and the build up, and I was like, oh, is that a bit cheesy for how
Yeah.
dirty the groove is with the vocal doing
I
that?
think with that bass line and sax, if you just play around with them a little bit, because obviously then you have the speed up element as well. I feel like you could take that second break, put that into a new track, and then just focus around making this sax and this dirty bass line gel together in a way. Like if you have your break with the sax, and then like you had the sax little cuts, so the bip bip bip.
Yeah.
Those bits worked with the actual beat in, But I feel like that main sax line over the top of the beat just doesn't work. You need to put that in the break, take out this melodic element in the second break, and yeah, just really like rework it. But
keep it simpler, man. All that middle stuff is really creative, really clever. But for this style of just sleazy, underground, raw, dirty beat,
this could
and
be
then the sax,
beat.
you could be way more simple, and you could be getting really cool underground DJs playing that,
100%.
especially like when they go and like tour South America, play a club, and then they end up doing some villa after party.
100%.
That's the sort of record that comes out.
And that's like a secret weapon. When you pull out that bass line, that's going to make some heads turn, that bass line.
Yeah,
sure.
that's it.
Made
Secret
my head,
weapon.
it's a secret weapon. That made my head turn, that bass line. But yeah, I feel like if you get that sax right in the breaks, you've got send me it when it's done.
Right, is DJ Huguito there? Is he on? Is he on the stream? He or she? Are you on the stream? Who's there? Come on. Who is there? Who is there? No, I don't know if anyone's there. But everyone's feeling it, and it's sounding a little bit different to the norm. I like that. Who did you meet at BMC, Trish? Huguito. Did you meet? I think Trish, who's on here, so she met Huguito on at the Brighton Music Conference, which is amazing if that's the case. Oh, I'm not sure. Grit did describe it in a similar way. Random sexual sax over a robotic brutal beat. Win.
That's a great. That's the description of the release. Like,
that's the press release right there, Grit. You've done it. You've done it.
I need to write that down.
Yeah, you're there. Oh, Dana, how are you, mate? Strip it way back. Yeah, we think so the same. Strip it back, make it really cool, right? Mental. Oh, I love it. I love it. They're good fun, right? Honestly, these sessions are nothing without you guys. It's great. Love you tuning in. Love you sending your music in. Ah, Trish, you got confused with someone else but you found them on Instagram. All right. Share it with us. We want to find out who DJ Huguito is and speak to him about his sick beats and bass lines. That is awesome, isn't it?
That bass line's really cool.
That was wicked. That was super cool. Really, really good. I'm afraid that's all we got time for today, though, guys. I hope you've really, really enjoyed it. I've got to say a massive thanks for joining us.
I know you're welcome. Thanks for having me on. It's been great fun and nice checking out what you guys are making. And it's always good to see what people have got in the pipeline and give people some feedback and advice on how to make things
wicked,
better.
Man. It gave us some really good feedback and insight. I think it's really cool. I think there's some lessons to be learned from a lot of people there from what you've been saying as well. And just amazing records. I love the fact that we got such a mixture of vibes that get sent to us each week, which is really, really cool. You know, we've ranged right from some real deeper, emotive piano house through to some tribal acid and everything in between.
We went all the way.
We did, didn't we? It was wicked. It was really good, guys. Really, really good. So don't forget, guys, if you want to send stuff in, Toolroom Records, label radar, put tracks in. If you don't get played, just keep trying. Put another track in a following week, all right? Just keep resubmitting if you don't get picked, and you will get there. And as we said earlier, just focus on what you're doing. Don't worry about comparing yourself too much to others. You can utilize tracks that are out there to actually learn from. We spoke a little bit about that today with arrangement, things like that, all right? But just enjoy your journey and focus on it. Stay focused in what you're doing as well. As it says somewhere up here, you can make it happen. Just do it, all right? Don't forget to like and subscribe and check out the channel as well. Come back, check the channel, and there'll be a really cool interview. I'm about to sit down and do a really cool interview with this man, Deeper Purpose, who joined us for this session. Thanks again, man.
You're welcome, guys.
Really, really good fun.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. We will be back again next week for another one of these live sessions. Thanks for tuning in.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Take care, everyone. See you later. That was great fun.